Hi all, welcome to my channel. We're learning how to cut this beautiful monostrap dress. Let's move to the cutting table. So my paper is already on fold. So I'll go ahead to get my shoulder measurements, which is 7. I'll be ruling it. Then I'll be getting the armhole. So it's just for you to get your basics like the armhole depth, the curve, the slanting and thereabout. That's the initial thing. But take note, you fold your fabric. So can you see? You fold your paper. So it's just a good basic, this usual stuff. So I was already trying to look for my middle and then go in by 0.75 when I realized I hadn't slanted. So I'll be slanting now. After getting my neckline, you by 3 inches for this width. You go ahead to slant by 1 inch. Then you get your middle. My middle is 3.5. So that is the correct one I'll be doing now. So please do not make that mistake when you are doing yours. So you'd be getting your middle. You go in by 0.75. All these things are usually essential because when you go in like that, it helps to avoid gapings or foldings on your fabric or on your client's fabric. So once you're done with that, so go ahead to be ruling the neckline. Remember, it's a monostrap or is an asymmetric neckline as the case may be. So we'll still be going ahead to do some alterations, but marking a 3 by 3 it's still fine. Take notes, your paper is on fold. So the next on line now is to get my bust point, to get my under bust, and of course my half length, which is already what I calculated on my paper, and the chest line too. So I've gotten the measurements now. I'll go ahead to be ruling my straight line. I'll go ahead to be ruling. I just want to label it for clarification. Next is my chest line. My chest line happens to be the same, that is 7.5. So once you are done with that, your next is going to be getting the nipple to nipple point, the bust difference, and I used 4 inches. And then I have ruled it. So this is the next part. Remember, we're cutting a shoulder princess dart. How to cut a shoulder princess dart with monostrap or one shoulder style. So I'm going ahead to get my I ruled up. I looked for the half middle and put half an inch to it. So you see it's not the exact middle. Then I took 0.75 on both sides, 0.75 to the left, 0.75 to the right, and you go ahead to mark. These markings, you make sure it's not too sharp and it's not too curvy. From the bust point, take note, the markings is from the bust point. Can you see? Now see the difference. I have difference of 1.5. So that 1.5, you'll be taking it back outside, as you can see me do. Because when you remove this dart, it will automatically become smaller. So you'll be taking it back, that 1.5 outside, which I just did. And you'll be connecting another. So the next is to connect from the shoulder line to this current armhole. Can you see? So for me to do that, I'll be folding my paper. Please take note of the foldings. See how I folded it. Then from the shoulder line, I'll be connecting it again to the correct armhole that I'll be using now. I'll fold it before I get my straight line. Can you see? Please, you do that. You fold before you get for you to connect it. That's the best way to do it. Don't just connect it immediately. So I'm just going to cut it out now. I believe you understand it from here as well. So the up part is okay now. So I'm moving to the next part. Now, because it is a shoulder princess dart, you can decide on how you want it to be. You can split the darts to different parts. So for me, that's exactly what I want to do. I just want to make it 1 inch on the left hand side and then 1 inch on the right hand side. after doing that, you'll be rolling it straight down. Remember, this taking the 1 inch is starting from the under bust, because you'll be connecting it from your bust point to your under bust. Please take note, the bust point is where you'll be curving. As you can see middle from the paper, you'll be connecting that curve to your under bust so that you can have a nice dart intake. So this is what you'll be doing. Make sure your connections too is not too sharp. You make sure your connections is not too sharp. Then for the bust dart, you'll be taking by 2 inches. Mind you, 2 inches is not usually the standard. It's the bust difference, the difference between the person's bust front and back, that determines that. So I'm going to go ahead now to open it. Because it's a monostrap, you have to cut it in twos like I said initially. So I've gone ahead to open it now, and I'll be imputing this exact thing on my left side to my right hand side. So that's the next thing that I want to do. So I've marked it now. I've gotten everything, the exact parts. Can you see? So I've gotten everything. It is only the armhole that I did not mark. Please take note of that. And you can mark yours actually. So depending on how off the person wants it to be, you could use 5, you could use 6, you could use 4.5. But for me, 5 is okay. This is the 5 that I used. So I'm just going to connect that 5 now to, I'm connecting it to the neck. So I'll be connecting it as you're seeing me do from the video. Mind you, you can make it wider. Depends on the client's choice. So once that is done, you see this dart intake now. It's not up to 1.5 anymore that was up. Can you see? But we're going to remove it though. We're still going to remove that intake. And then by the time we adjust the bust dart, it will be wider than this. Stay tuned so you understand what I mean more. So I've cut the neckline. As you can see, I've cut the neckline. So I'm going to go ahead to remove my bust dart now. I'm going to go ahead to remove my bust dart. This bust dart intake that I want to remove will help to increase the dart allowance, the dart line at the upper part. So just watch what I'm doing. Can you see? Please take notes. Yes. So with the way I curved it now, I believe you can see it's already wider because of my bust dart intake that I just did. So I will then go ahead to continue with my dart allowance at the upper part. Yes, so I've gotten that upside, so it's definitely going to pack the customer well. It's definitely going to lay rather on the client's body. So I'm cutting out the dart side. So this is the difference. Can you see? So I'm going to go ahead to repeat the same process for the other side. Then mind you, don't forget when you are getting the armhole, the initial one is not correct. You see the other side are labeled correct, that is the correct one. Please don't forget that. So the same thing I did, picking up the bust darts, eliminating the bust darts, that's the same thing that is applied to this other one. You always make sure you eliminate. Do not make the mistake of eliminating one side and not doing the other, because since it is monostrap, the left hand side will definitely be different from the right hand side. So this is how it is going to be. This is how it's going. So I was supposed to cut the armhole. Then remember I said you can do it optional. So since I have not removed the armhole for the other side, that's what I want to do now. It's just for me to place them together, as you can see on this part. It's just to place them together and then you cut it out. That's just how you do it. Can you see? Just place them together and cut it out. So your armhole now is perfectly okay. So once it is opened, you have the armhole for this other side, the monostrap. So this is how it's going to be. So let's move on to the back now. The back is not that hard or complicated to do. For the back, you'll be having your complete back block. You'll be having your complete back block, which you can see I've gotten my neckline, my armhole. I'm here to do that. So I'm currently labeling the front, that is the front part, because you're going to flip the front part to the front part and the back part to the back part, vice versa. So this is how I'll be arranging it. Can you see? So this is how I'll actually be arranging it. This is what I meant. You see the marked part is facing the marked part. So let me go ahead to do my dart intake now. That is 1 inch on both sides, 1 inch on the back sides each, and then I'll be marking where I want my dart to reach. So it's the same thing though. The bust difference that you took for your front is what you take for my back, for the back, and the bust difference is 8 in 2 places. That is 4 4. So I'm just going to mark it, and then I'll be repeating the same process for the other side. So I'll be marking my armhole now, so you understand what I mean. Your armhole, it's always nice, it's like this exact way, or you take it in by half an inch. Anyway, it's fine, it's optional. So after getting my armhole, I'll just go ahead to mark the second part of my dart line. Remember, because this is a monostrap, you need a complete back block. That is the both sides, not one side. You need the both sides. So now I've marked my dart line for the back. That's how my back is going to be. So I'll be placing it now. I'll be placing it. It's just for you to, like I said before, it's not that hard. It's just for you to place the front to the front. Make sure you are correct on it, the same way you do the fabric as well. Then you go ahead to cut it. The way you cut the front neckline is the same way you will cut the back neckline, from the armhole to the neck, the joining, the slants, and the paper. That's all that you have to do anyway. There's really no hard and fast rule about how to do the back. This is just it, and that's just so simple and easy to make. Yeah, so to do that, you'll be having, I have my basic sleeves. I've cross-checked my armhole, check it is correct. Then I'm trying to give it a perfect shape. Please take note, if the armhole cutting is not correct, it might not be okay on the client. So make sure your armhole is correct, because of the next tutorial we want to go for now. So you descend from the armhole part 4 inches. That's all you're going to do. And for me, I usually love to curve it. I love to curve it. But if you don't want to curve it, you can go ahead and make it straight. But I would love to curve it. Can you see? So you just cut it out, and that is all. You already have your sleeves. There is no hard and fast rule about it. So this is just all that you are going to do, and to be attached to the monostrap side. And here we go. It's so easy. Thank you all for watching.